accountancy firm, my very good brother, Rufal Ali from Emerald Network, and also Old City Dancer. Nevertheless, you're all distinguished guests, so thank you very much for coming. For this private dinner, Mark has hosted for a Saving Lives program, including Palestine, of course. While I know most of you here, just as a brief introduction, I've been in sort of working life for the last 25 odd years. Majority of it has been in finance and banking, but I was always inspired and fascinated by the charity sector and the NGO sector. I have worked within this sector in the UK, in Sweden, in Australia, and some other countries as well, and I've learned a lot from those years. Earlier this year, this was probably January or so, Professor Medina, it was a very informal meeting I had with him, and he told me about MAC, Medics Across Continents, and what amazed and fascinated me was perhaps the specialization, which is, they do one thing and they do it at their best, which is one surgery at a time and saving lives. I'm not taking anything away from, mashallah, the great work the other charities do, but I think specialization is one element which is missing within the charity sector, and alhamdulillah, MAC does that. We've got a set of very, very good top consultants and surgeons that go around the world and go and save lives. So that's what really fascinated me. Since joining MAC as a Chief Operating Officer, I had the opportunity to go to Malawi, first time ever. City of beautiful people, city of smiles. More so, I think, a city of self-respect. We were there for maybe about 5 days, and our surgeons, consultants probably did about 100 surgeries, consultations in those 5 days. One thing that really stood out was the gratitude and probably selflessness from these people. When I say that is, and maybe I'm comparing and maybe I'm wrong in that, but in a lot of countries that we've been to in the past, I have been to, not necessarily with MAC, it's maybe not as much sugar, which is a very sort of special component of Islam. They were of course thankful, I'm not taking away anything. I want to mention in Malawi that happened to us, or I experienced myself. I remember meeting this 8-year-old Abdurrahman, young boy, who had developed a fibroma, and Professor, please excuse me if my pronunciation is wrong, it's fibroma, which is a benign tumor of the oral cavity. And he had it for the last 2 years, and subhanAllah, he stood out because of this ailment, this illness he had. If you have to picture this, think of a small sort of mini football, which is part in his mouth, and the other part is probably in his neck, so it really sort of sticks out. We have got some images, but I think it's too graphic, so I'm not going to share that with you. So he was unable to go to school naturally. He had very low self-esteem, very low confidence, health issues, and of course, he was sort of very deprived from the normal life that he could lead. He was selected by a local partner for surgery due to his sort of condition. MAC medical volunteers performed the required surgery, and he has now fully recovered, alhamdulillah. You cannot put a price to this change that alhamdulillah MAC volunteers did, but it was only £450 of your donation that enabled us to do this. There was another incident. Which was around medical. So it is that 1% of women of childbearing age are reported to have an obstetric fistula. World Health Organization reports that 20,000 and approximately 5 out of 1,000 women are currently living with a fistula. Very briefly, for those of you who don't know what a fistula is, because I did not know this before I joined MAC as well. So it's this vesico-vaginal fistula is caused by complications during childbirth. whereby the urinary glands are damaged, resulting in continuous and unremitting urinary continence. In simple English, these women urinate internally. While this causes natural internal bodily damage, the women are isolated and, of course, put away by their husband and children and family because they smell. Medics treated this woman, who I remember meeting, who had traveled 2 days from another village, and she had walked and taken the public transport to get to the hospital, so desperate that, listen, I want to lead a normal life, and I want to be operated on. Her husband, her children, her family had isolated her, so she just walked. She said, listen, I'm going from one city or one village to another village or city, and she got to us in Malawi, in the long way. I did meet her before her surgery, and what I saw, even though I'm not a doctor, but then what I saw was courage and hope in her eyes that, listen, me as Salman is going to save her or something, I'm going to create a miracle to save her life. Alhamdulillah, with your, again, donations of only £250, we did treat her, and then again, alhamdulillah, she's leading a normal life at the moment. These are the very few success stories that I wanted to share with you as our donors. Finally, I would like to say that we do take NHS for granted here. NHS is a blessing for all of us. We walk into, all of us, may not give us health, but if we are ill, we just walk into an NHS facility and then, of course, treat it and we come out. But what we see in these third world countries is probably uncomprehendable. I mean, I'm not going to say that what you might see in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, you probably worsen it by 10 times. That is what Malawi was when I saw it, and subhanAllah. The reason I mention these is that while these surgeries are a common occurrence in developed country, with chances of death as negligible, in countries like Malawi and Africa, most of Africa, where health services are dysfunctional, these are a luxury. MAC is committed to this type of surgery and other complex and orthopedic surgeries, orthopedic procedures in underdeveloped countries and the ones affected by turmoil. As we have access to thousands of medical professionals in the UK and globally, and they are happy to travel to these countries to perform these surgeries pro bono. This brings us very nicely to why we are here tonight. The Prophet ﷺ said, verily the believer among the people of faith is the place of the head to the body. The believer feels pain for the people of faith, just as the body feels pain for the head. Our brothers and sisters in Palestine are currently suffering and going through perhaps the worst atrocity of our lifetime, in at least living memory. To date, I saw this, over 15,000 people have been killed, with hundreds of thousands injured with no recourse of medical facilities, as even the hospitals have been destroyed. MAC is undertaken to send a team of surgeons to perform general, complex, and orthopedic surgery in the country as soon as it is safe to do so. And I'm very excited to say this. We have just signed an MOU with Medical Aid for Palestinians, which is one of the 2 organizations which is in the health cluster, which is approved by the occupying forces who work in the country. So we will be working in partnership, directly partnership with Medical Aid for Palestinians. So whatever we do tonight, inshallah, the idea is that we will facilitate with the necessary doctors, medical professionals who will of course go pro bono. They will not charge us for anything, and they will go and perform surgical procedures in the country as soon as it is possible to do so. The discussion we had with MAP very, very recently is that they are sending a fact-finding mission to Gaza in the next few weeks. And once that is established, that how a surgical team or medical team can be sent to Gaza, they will come back to us and we will facilitate wherever we can. This is a very, very good news because they don't have the facilities or the database of doctors that MAC has. and we would be more than happy to work with them and of course facilitate for our brothers and sisters in Gaza or within Palestine. My brother Ajmal will be joining us later for the fundraising, but I would leave you with a story that has always inspired me for a very, very long time. You may remember this as well because this was quite hot news for a number of years. So this was probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and this was on Islam Channel. In fact, during Ramadan, and in fact during a conflict in Palestine as well. So of course there was a fundraising appeal on Islam Channel, and this brother called and said, a live caller it was, and he said, you know, I cannot see the suffering of my brothers and sisters in Palestine, and I have saved up for a standard Hajj £10,000, and I would like to donate it to for whatever charity that was, but for the of course for the help of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And he donated that entire £10,000. He said, you know, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to invite me, he will invite me. And he just donated, and he said, oh, just make dua for me and make dua for my brothers and sisters in Palestine. And, you know, we just, of course, every one of us, whoever saw this said, subhanAllah, this is, you know, a great guy. And it still sort of makes me emotional. About 2 minutes later, somebody called as a live caller as well, and he said, you know, this brother who just donated £10,000, tell him I will take him for a 5-star Hajj free of charge because I'm a travel agent. So that £10,000, and that time I remember it was about £17,000 for a 5-star Hajj. And I don't know, honestly I don't know whether it actually materialized or not, but the point here is that, you know, we will think that, you know, we are going to make a donation today, what is going to happen, but trust me, and I've experienced it so many times myself, that, you know, Shaitan has, or, you know, I've been whispered that, listen, why are you making this donation? But subhanAllah, it is, I think, if I'm, maybe brothers here would correct me, but then I think it's 70 times that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you back whatever you invest in a good cause. I am blessed to whatever I've invested in a charity program, I've got, probably I can't put a figure to it, it's come back to me in you know, in many, many folds. So whatever you do, it's not the donation. I think what we are looking to do is, Mac is doing a very, very unique work. I don't know any other Muslim-led charity. You know, we've got guidance of course, of Professor Mateen Sharif, who you will hear from in due course. But I don't know any medical charity, Muslim-led, that is doing this work. We are interested, of course, in working with charities who have got charity programs, and you know they don't have the expertise to implement them. We are more than happy to become an implementation partner for them. The other thing, of course, we're also looking at corporate partners, and I'd be more than happy to discuss what areas we can work with them as well. But I think I've taken enough time, and I hope I've given enough background of Mac and myself, and I'll be more than happy to, inshallah, speak to you in due course today or whenever you're available. And I hand it over to my Deputy CEO. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to steer our attention towards an exciting aspect of our work at Medics Across Continents, which are our international challenges. So these challenges are not just adventures, they are powerful. And in the coming year, we have challenges across Mexico, Jordan, and Pakistan planned. Everything from zip lining, water rafting, and hiking. I invite you to join us. You can find all the details on our website, www.medicsac.org, and you can also find them on our social media platforms. Now, in today's connected world, staying updated is key. And that's why our social media platforms are constantly buzzing with the latest on our events, challenges, medical missions, and volunteer opportunities. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, which is now called X, and Snapchat. Our social media handle is at Medics Across Continents, one word. So please do follow us and be a part of our journey, no matter where you are. I'm also excited to announce the launch of our new website, www.medicsac.org. Now, this revamped platform is your gateway to understanding what we are, what we do. It's where you can explore our My Community Clinic initiative. And this is a program dedicated to bringing essential healthcare directly to the hearts of the local communities. And how this works is our team of dedicated healthcare professionals visit various religious sites and community centres such as churches, mosques, synagogues, gurdwaras, etc., predominantly in London area. And at these clinics, we offer a range of free health services such as BMI checks, blood pressure checks, oxygen level checks. And additionally, individuals also have the unique opportunity to have a face-to-face, one-to-one consultation with a GP. So that's our Medics Across medical clinics. We do have something else called the Medi Mentor School Project. So in line with our commitment to inspire and educate the next generation of medical professionals, Medics Across Continents has launched the Medi Mentor initiative. So this program focuses on engaging with students in schools who have a keen interest in the medical field. So how this works logistically is we take volunteer doctors into schools, into educational settings to provide real-world insights into the life and responsibilities of medical professionals. So these sessions include Q&A sessions between the students and the doctors. It's where students can directly engage with our doctors, and our doctors also provide educational talks that shed light on the realities of being a medic. Now, with that being said, I have the honour of introducing our next speaker, Dr. Akram Rahman. Dr. Rahman has travelled with us on our medical missions in Africa. Earlier this year, he was with us in Malawi. You can hear firsthand about his experience, dedication and passion. Please welcome Dr. Akram Rahman.
Thank you, Ram. A few years back, I was in Sudan. We worked there for a week, and end of the week, we came out of the hospital. It was me and my good friend, Hardik Tasadakis from Pakistan. He's a urologist. Man came to us and he grabbed Tariq by his shirt. He said, "You're not doing my operation." And we were shocked. After we working 4 or 5 days for you guys, and this is what you get. And you got to translate. Somebody came to translate and said, "I heard about you guys are here. In this city, we don't have urologists." And I walked 3 days, and he going to refuse me. So we begged the Sudanese staff to reopen the theater and do this operation. That was a good story. Then last year, I was working with Professor Maki, and he said, "I'm going to Malawi. Do you want to come?" And that's how I started. By the way, I'm Dr. Akram, an anesthetist. I work for NHS and I work in Kent, Professor Maki. So Malawi, we did a lot of work, but one day I just walked out of the hospital and I saw a long building. Smoke coming out, it's open, people just hanging out, sitting on the floor, kids, families, fathers. I asked him, "Man, what's happening here?" And he said, "This is for the relatives." Why are they here? Because they travel long distances. Sometimes they come and babysit the family who's having an operation for 4 or 5 days, but they don't have place to stay. But they hang around outside, they cook in the small place with fire, whatever they get, and they sleep on the floor, waiting for these operations to be done. But this is what we see in the places we go. What is the difference between them and me and you? Because we are fortunate to be here in a country, the health system is provided for us. And for those people who are less fortunate, that their governments cannot provide the basic medicine. And as volunteers, as MAC, what we do, we go and bring this gap a bit closer. We work with the local staff, we teach them, we share experience, we learn from them, we show what we know from us, and we teach them to treat these people much better, and hopefully one day they can all get a good medical facility. But when we always come out of these places, we come with a strong message from these people. Like this man from Sudan, and like these relatives from Malawi. And these are the things inspire us to take our own time and go and do something for these people. And as part of being here with us, all of you can join us in this wonderful journey. And your heart will be with them, and we will be working towards humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Akram. Ladies and gentlemen, starters will now be served. Please enjoy.